want to work out every single day, not just during the week, also the weekends. And I did it when my man's was home and we ran together and stuff. Now he's not here. I'm like, what am I going to do? Then I remembered before I joined the gym, I bought dumbbells. So my man's bought me dumbbells, and it was like a little, I think it was 700 rand was the price, but it's like I think you get like 6 sets of like little circles, and then you get like 2 poles, and then you can set the weights. But it was something small, and I said to him, just buy it for me to start. And I had it the whole time. And even when we moved out, I told someone, look, you can take it. I'm not going to use it, and they just never end up taking it. I think I gave it to like 7 people already. They don't take it. And then I went to go look for it last week, and I found it. And I was like, okay, it just needs a bit of a clean because like spiders for days. And I was like, this is my off days where I can't get to the gym, that I can 100% do this. I was like, why not? 100%. So I started creating like workouts more for upper body, because it's easier with those kind of dumbbells. Anyway, the point is, because I was constantly thinking about it, it's like, for those who like want to believe, it's like the universe sent me in that direction because it was on my brain, right? And I think that's the idea with the manifestation. It's that you are walking into it, as opposed to, I will only work out when I have more time, you know, I will only create content once I have free time. I will only start cooking, once I have the best pot or whatever. And at that point, with all of this, and I hope it's making sense, that's when I realized, to have the vision board is one thing, but you need to be motivated. But that's the vision board. The vision board is the motivation. But what keeps you going? It's not the motivation, because you know what you want. You see it there. And sometimes it's just not enough. Nice. Hi, baby. And sometimes motivation is not enough, because I know that I want to go to the gym because I want to be healthier. I want to play with my kids for as long as I can. Then some days I wake up and I'm still like, oh, how am I going to get to the gym? I'm so demotivated. And then I realized discipline was kicking in, and consistency, because if you are disciplined, you are honoring the commitment you made, and you're doing it. You're doing it tired, you're lazy, you're whatever. It's the same thing as over and over again. And then you're consistent. Now your consistency is beating motivation, because you get to a point where you feel bad for not doing something. You feel bad for not going to the gym. You feel bad because you're like, yo, I could have used this time for something else. And I'm not saying we must make ourselves tired, we must fill our schedule. What I'm saying is, once you realize that the vision board is really just like pictures of your current life, and then you start acting in that way, things become so much easier. Now there's less frustration, there's less expectation, because you're like, I'm not waiting. You're not in a waiting room, you're not waiting for that time. And it really could be anything. Let's go back to the budgeting, for example. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to save money and budget when I have more money. You're not going to, because you're not doing it now. You're 100% not going to. And if you do good, that's discipline and consistency are good for you. But you need to discipline with what you have now. Now, let's say you budget and you get more money. That more can literally be for your other dreams and aspirations, because you're already budgeting the money you have now for your current lifestyle. But if you don't budget and you get more, that money is just going to go to holes that you supposedly need, but you don't actually need, because you didn't budget, right? That's why I was like, you need to lock in with discipline and consistency. So what I did was, I went back to my vision board, because sometimes I was putting things on my vision board of stuff I was already doing, like silly stuff. Like, I say silly, but it's things we're already doing, like every Sunday we're going to go to church. Bro, that's what we've been doing already. But I was so passionate about having the family wake up in the morning, go to church. I put it there. But why? I'm already walking in that, you know. I didn't need a board to tell me how to live my life. I needed a board to go into a direction of the person I want to become, you know. So now it's one thing to go to church every Sunday. Now maybe I want to serve, for example. So I went back to the vision board. I was like, okay, don't put the same things over and over, like the fruit of the spirit. Every year I put the fruit of the spirit there. But now the fruit of the spirit is so ingrained in my kids and myself that we do this whole thing where every week we choose one. It's there. We are now living it. Now we got to up our game, you know. Let's take 2 fruits of the spirit, or let's try something else. You know, it's just not to be in the same like headspace all the time. Okay, so like I said, I went through my vision board and I looked at certain things and I'm like, I'm already doing this. But there were certain things that also were just like confirmation of things that I'd worked towards, right? Not even work towards, just things I wanted to do. And then there was like signs from the universe, the gifts from the universe, for lack of better words, which I'm totally not into. But yeah, so I wrote some stuff down. So I love Kim K, love her. So many of my personal things, I had pictures of her. So like her fashion, not that I wanted to dress like her, but rather I always wanted to look good no matter where I was going, whether I was going to go buy bread or go to the gym or do a school run. I always wanted to look like really nice. I'm embarrassed to say this, but At the time I wasn't, because we lived very close to school, and I would go and do the school run in my gown. And then as soon as I get to front of school, I'll just take it off and I have a t-shirt. And my husband was like, what are you doing? How can you leave the house in a gown? But I was like, it's literally 2 minutes away. Plus, it was winter. It was very cold. So anyway, so dress good. And then I also had her hair and her skin with the intention of saying, I want to take care of my skin. I want to take care of my hair. I want to enjoy my skin and my hair. I invest in it. What happened? I've been doing treatments on my skin because I had acne in my 20s and I went on an acne tan, just like deep scar tissue that hurt my skin. Otherwise, I'm really fine. And then my hair hasn't been such a big thing, but now since I'm going more natural, more often than not, I also like let me leave work. We have these fun awards, and last year was actually so cute that I actually won the award for I think it's like most stylish or dressed, and that goes to someone who shows up like, you know, dressing up all the time. And I was like, oh, that was such a cute confirmation that I had achieved my goal in just always showing up and dressing up nice, right? And then I had other things like eating healthy, going to the gym, but I already do those things already. So it's like I can't put things here that I already am, but it was just nice to go through it. And I think my vision board that I had 7 years ago and even last year, it brought me to where I am now. I wouldn't have reached this realization that I must walk as though I'm in my goals if I hadn't had big goals at the time, where it was very particular, where it was take walks daily, be patient, slow down, be mindful, because those goals that I saw daily led me to where I am now. And then now there's an awareness. So I think whatever journey you're on, if you have to start at a vision board where it's very specific, where it's like go to church on a Sunday, walk 3 times a day, and that's something you want to achieve, waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, then put that there. But I think what's also nice and something I would have loved to have done that time, because I'm doing it now, is walk and talk as if you're already in that zone. You know, don't wait for, but when I have, or when I achieve, or as soon as I just get another job, I'll be so much happier, or as soon as I just move out of this apartment, it's so frustrating, or whatever the case may be. So as you can tell from the sun, I've been recording this video, but anyway, so like I always like to close my videos with some steps, and I wrote it down. So step 1, when you are creating a vision board, create things in your vision board and things you're not living it. Obviously that's the goal, right? So try to be mindful of certain things that you are just not doing. Don't write stuff like what I did was like go to church every Sunday. I'm already going to church every Sunday. Just because I want to instill that doesn't mean I need to write it on my vision board. And then step 2, ask yourself, how would you be living if you already had arrived? So like it was me with dressing up and looking pretty. I was like, okay, cool. I went into Shein and I got a few cute stuff, but in the absence of having the stuff I maybe thought I needed before then, I did this like closet thing where I cleaned my closet out, because my friend was like, what you should do is invest in like she called it, and I'm getting off topic here, she called it like some box where she was like, only have 3 good jeans, have 5 pretty shirts and stuff. And I made a video about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go through this, and I cleaned my closet out. So now I have a very minimalist closet. And then I went into, okay, I want to dress nice. And then I was like, okay, before I buy clothes, I'm going to wear all my clothes again and again before I buy stuff. Did all of that, clocked it. Then I was like, okay, let me buy pretty stuff. So before I got to that point, I was like, whatever I own, let me dress it up. Because why would I wait for pretty clothes when I have clothes already, right? I'm so grateful for the stuff I have. Anyway, so then ask yourself, how would you act if you had those things already? And then that's where the actual magic takes place, right? And then step 3, start moving like the person who's on the board. So you might think, okay, what about a holiday? Cool. You're saving for the holiday, so be mindful of it. If you're going to Paris, envision yourself in Paris, or watch movies about it, watch Netflix stuff. Maybe try speaking a few common sayings like thank you and bye and can you direct me, or whatever the case may be. And then step 4, when you realize you're living in it, then tick it. That's the best part. Or remove it, but not immediately. Obviously, bask in the fact that you've arrived there. But I think more than ever, the vision board, the kids are playing outside, the vision board needs to make sense to you. This is where I've arrived, meaning I had the vision boards where I had pictures of every single thing, you know, from an item I wanted to a watch to a jacket that I really liked. Those are fine. And then I had vision boards where it was more about my person, you know, like going and being healthy and going to the gym, and that was a different vision board. And then I had another vision board. I was like, okay, spiritually, how do I want to be, or how do I want to show up? And my personality, I've always been this type of person, but what do I want to be in this season or in this life? You know, how do I want to show up? So the point is, do what works for you, and then show up as that person. Be disciplined, be consistent, Whatever you do this year, though, dream big. Dream big. My husband always says your dreams have to scare you. Dream big. Go all out for yourself. Yes, baby? If you dream not scary, you're not big enough. That is true.